All right. Thank you for the warm introduction, Shira. Really appreciate it. And we're all very excited to be here. Big thanks to Draper Goren Holm for hosting everybody today and tomorrow. And you know, the LA Blockchain Summit's always a good time. Hopefully next year we'll do it in person, but we're excited to be here collectively from all over the world. So without further ado, I will dive into our introductions briefly, and then we can get the conversation going. My name is Austin Davis. We have Benjamin from Ledger, T from Multis, and Frederick from Coinsquad. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
Fantastic. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Glad we could all be here too. So I guess we'll just go on my screen, at least from left to right. So Benjamin, that gets us starting with you, and Ledger, give us a little quick you know, intro to yourself and the Ledger project. And I think many of us are familiar, but you know, let us know in your point of view, what do you guys do best?
Well, hello, I'm Benjamin Arma. I'm the product manager of Ledger Live at Ledger. Ledger is quite famous for its Nano X and Nano S. It's a global leader in digital asset security, so that's what we are good for, I guess. And Ledger Live is a crypto assets and device management application, again for the Nano X and Nano S, also the blue if you have it. And yeah, that's quite it. I've been working at Ledger for 2 years now. I'm quite happy about it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a fan, and I appreciate the live software. It's definitely much easier to use than the previous software management before. So yeah, you guys are doing great with that. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumping on to you, T, with Multis. So I think we might be able to assume what you guys are great at doing. But why don't we hear from the horse's mouth? You let us know what you're doing and what you do there.
Yeah, sure. Another French company, I see. So
Yeah.
basically, what we're doing is pretty simple. We're building banking accounts for companies holding cryptocurrencies and running business with them. So basically, we help them store them with an approval workflow, which is great for teams. We help them earn interest through DeFi integrations, and we help them, streamline payments and accounting. So basically, providing the same kind of business features you would expect from your business account with crypto. More broadly, I guess, our mission at Multis is, to put these DeFi tools and services into the hands of, the mainstream CFO through, a unique UX. And, our main goal is to put, crypto mainstream for businesses. That's what Multis is about today.
Excellent. We all need help with adoption and making it simple and easy to making it simple and easy to use is always a great way to do that. So appreciate it. And it brings us to Frederick with Coinsquad. Great name, by the way. We like the Coinsquad. Sounds like, join the squad. So it's a cool thing. So why don't you let us know, Frederick, what do you guys do?
Hi, my name is Frederick. I'm the CEO of Coinsquad. We're a geek squad of cryptocurrency. We are a managed cryptocurrency service provider. And we basically are white glove support for all things crypto. We have 3 tiers within Coinsquad. The first one is just the beginner tier. We service cold and hot wallet storage, migration around exchanges, MetaMask, staking, yield farming, lending pools, trading bots. Second tier is all development, front and back end, wallet, iOS, Android. Third tier is what we're working on right now is for forensics, for tracing transactions. The reason why we need this is because it creates transparency with our clients that we service remotely. If they can see their transactions going through in real time, it's kind of like having a command line and doing a ping or a tracer and seeing the hops and where things are going, transaction IDs, wallet addresses, things like that. So we're all about self-custody and all about listening to our clients and allowing them to meet their goals.
So self-custody, meaning that you help people manage their own assets, essentially, as opposed to having third-party custody.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, and that's one of the topics I wanted to touch on today too. So that kind of brings us to our panel, main theme, which is storing and safe keeping your crypto and which options are right for you, right? So I guess paper wallets are always a thing, right? You can have the paper wallet, you can have your private keys split up into multiple pieces and put in different geographic locations in the world. But I guess then the problem becomes, what happens if one of those locations fails, or gets swallowed up by the earth or burns down? Who knows? If you don't have a backup of that key, then I guess you can't access your crypto anymore. So aside from kind of the physical hacks to keep your your coins and your crypto safe, hardware, software, that's kind of what we're talking about here, right? Like keeping it online wallets, physical wallets, desktop wallets. So that brings me to you again, Benjamin, with Ledger. So you guys mainly focus on the physical hardware wallet, keeping it offline, and then using software to kind of manage that and keep it safe. So what's the difference between that, just so the users are aware, or something that is multi-signature? And do you have the capability to do multi-signature with Ledger?
So the device by itself is able to do the multi-signature, but the software Ledger Live is unable. It's not part of the possibilities that you can do on the software. The multi-sig is mainly, it's not only, but it's mainly used by businesses. And for that, we have a business solution that have multi-signature and all the rules. It's called Ledger Vault. But Ledger Live by itself, for the B2C customers, it's more, a lot of them don't use the multi-sig, and we give them the possibility to store their seed into the Nano. That's where it's secured in the secure element, and they're able to sign the transaction with the Nano and broadcast it on the blockchain, whether it's a send, whether it's a delegate, or whatever blockchain transaction on the blockchain through Ledger Live. But I know that we have here participants that are able to use the Nano to do multi-signature.
Right, that's great. And I guess the issue, I guess, with any multi-signature is you're obviously trusting a third party to make sure that you can send transactions and release your funds when you need to. So I guess there's a high level of trust in a third party, whether that's someone you know and love, or whether that's a lawyer or a foundation director or something like that. It's a pretty powerful position to be in. So I think there's reasons why people love that for that reason, because it's not all with one person. But then the individuals, I kind of agree that a lot of people would want to just do total custody and not have any third parties involved in that signature process, so that they can be pretty liquid. All right, so moving forward, T, what is your opinion on multi-sig, and how do you guys interact, in that way?
Well, we are big believers at Multis. Maybe for people listening to us, a multi-signature wallet is a wallet, usually a smart contract wallet, where you basically lock funds and you require multiple people, owners, to sign those transactions to unlock them. So as you said a little bit earlier, this is a powerful tool for teams, maybe less adapted for individual users. That's true. Well, the cool thing about multi-signature wallets, especially when they're software based, they're self-custodian. And that, again, you said it earlier, this is a key advantage of this kind of security setup. It means that you don't rely on a third party. It means that you're in charge, basically. So in that end, we're big believers in multi-signature and self-custody. Now, one thing I'd like to mention about multi-signature wallet and smart contract wallets in general is that they give you access to decentralized finance, for example, and smart contracts. So you would need, for example, so we actually have users using ledgers to sign their individual transaction through the multi-signature wallet, and then use Multis solution and other smart contract wallets like Argent, by the way, or others, to access decentralized finance. So in that aspect, if you're willing to go with a software-based solution which is flexible enough to go with DeFi, multi-signature wallets are a good opportunity for you. Excellent.
And Frederick, that brings us to you. How is this relevant to your business model? I know you mentioned that you're a big believer in self-custody. So do you guys do anything in the multi-signature way currently with your process or your software?
No, I mean, not personally with ours. We are working on an RMM solution right now, but we're not using anything related to multi-signature and two signatures in order to gain access and make changes.
Got it. Okay, cool. So let me ask you something else that I think might be relevant, because this is a question that we talked about before. So how can investors secure their home computers and mobile devices from hackers? Because that's one of the biggest issues, right? Like I think even with hardware devices, you know, somebody can gamify the actual device where it changes the actual address for the recipient. And if you don't double verify, because some people just are in a hurry and they don't do it, or maybe they're lazy, or maybe they just don't realize that that's even possible. But that hack has happened before, and I think everybody moved quickly to fix that. So what are some ways, I guess we'll keep going with you, Frederick, for now, like that people can protect their own devices? Because that's the biggest point of failure, it seems.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, I've really seen a lot of phishing attacks, whether that's web-based or email-based. And the key to being successful in the crypto space is compartmentalization. You want to separate things. You want to use virtualized software. You want to use VMware, VirtualBox. If you're using a Windows 10 operating system, if you're using a Mac, use Parallels. Don't be scared to spin up a VM and use Ubuntu. Keep all of everything that you're doing. If you're opening up emails, do it on one side. And if you're doing all your crypto stuff, open up that VM, use it on there. I would say that that's the best solution to that, because you don't want somebody gaining access to your mobile device or your personal desktop at home. And then that's how these breaches happen in the majority. So
yeah,
I would say, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and I would also add in there really quickly that be careful of downloading movies and media as well, because depending on how you're getting that, sometimes there's extra things that are included in there that kind of sit and wait until they find JSON files or wallet files, and then they find their way through. So be very careful of any media you're downloading. And then I guess Benjamin and T as well, any thoughts on how to keep your personal devices safe? You know, here's probably one of the biggest threats, because it's the one we use the most.
Sure. So on our side, for the B2C, I think the main way to protect their assets is first education. We have to educate the users in order to explain them first what they are doing, because a lot of them don't understand what's happening with the hardware wallet. They don't understand that what's secured inside the hardware wallet are the 24 words. It's the seed. It's not the crypto. The cryptos are on the blockchain, and a lot of them don't get that, especially the new users that we are trying to attract in our ecosystem. Those people don't get what's the big change between what they have currently with their bank and what's happening with cryptocurrencies. They have to understand also that they should never put those 24 words anywhere else than on the recovery sheets, and also they have to hide really well this recovery sheet. That's the only backup they will have, and if they put those 24 words on their computer or on their phone, the only interest of the nano is completely lost. So they are going to lose the only interest. And when the last thing is, when, as you said, you could have your clipboard that could be hacked, and you copy and paste the wrong address, and you send all your assets to someone you don't want to send to. They also have to know that the only source of truth is the device. They have to compare the place where they paste the address with the device and nothing else. It's something that is really hard on our side to explain. We are trying our best, and we are doing a lot of efforts to educate our users so that they understand what they do. Crypto has a lot of advantages, but it comes with a price, the price that you have to put a little effort to understand what's happening.
Yeah, I totally agree about the education part, because there's a lot of people who they think that everything is Bitcoin. If they're not in the industry and they know nothing about it, and they think crypto, they just call it Bitcoin, and they can get scammed pretty easily if they think everything's Bitcoin, right? So all right. So T, any thoughts there on how to keep yourself safe?
Well, you know, mixed feelings here, because there's some education to be made. That's true, but in the end, you know, Crypto will never get mainstream if people have to remember those 24 words or, follow very complicated security protocols. So I think in the end, it comes to us, providers in the space, companies, not to do education, but to provide an UX that, enables users to avoid making mistakes. One example, you don't need a 42 characters address to send crypto to. You could use ENS. ENS is doing an amazing job with that. So you just have a name, and Argent, for example, or many other companies, Multis as well. You basically support ENS, and you enable people to just send to proper names.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things to avoid, the non-reversible natures of transactions. So it's all about UX and services and people like Coinsquad as well, helping people. I think we have a lot of work to do around UX to get closer to proper banking flows. Banking in itself is not a bad word. So we should aim at reproducing this kind of experience to avoid those errors. Again, I think multi-signature offer, a good alternative to, very strong hardware solutions that I feel are more adapted to institutionals or big holders. Because you get notifications, basically. So you know what's going on with your wallet. You get this kind of approval workflow that helps you avoiding making those mistakes or getting aware of what's going on with your wallet and your funds. So those are the things that us as providers has to, implement to get crypto mainstream and help users. So as a users, I would, definitely go with companies as an individual, for example, and I would go for companies like Argent, who are doing an amazing, or Monolith, who are doing an amazing job at UX and helping people, using the solutions without being too anxious.
Yeah, I think go ahead.
Sorry, I totally agree with you on the fact that we have to improve our UX in order to make it easier for our users. But we also don't have to lie to them. We have to explain what's happening. We have to tell them that if they want to have the financial freedom that crypto brings, they need to have a little bit of responsibilities. That's the basis. If we explain that, then they understand it, then the great UX is going to come with it, and it's gonna be an easier than it is today. And I agree with you also on the fact that Argent is and Monolith are great to facilitate the usage of cryptos, but there is one thing that I don't like about it, it's that they are dependent of a protocol, and it's Ethereum. I know that Ethereum is a great blockchain and I really love it. I'm not criticizing Ethereum, but it's only dependent on one blockchain. And recently, what happened with the DeFi craze shows that it's an issue with the fees that were really high. Every time you want to do a transaction, it's going to cost you a lot. I know there are solutions also, but it's still dependent of a blockchain, and I'm not sure it's good for the future.
Right. So bringing us to the next topic, similar topic. What about, this seems even a little bit more out of our control, but SIM hacks, SIM swaps, like how can we prevent that? Certainly using more secure devices and procedures, but we can't rely on big companies to necessarily protect us. They get breached all the time, and passwords get released and SIMs get swapped. So anybody have any tips? Because I think that's one thing that a lot of people just don't know how to protect themselves from. A friend of mine, Michael Turpin, some of you may know him. He's currently still suing AT&T, a big battle back and forth, because he got, I think it was 24 million stolen from his mobile device. So, how can we protect ourselves? Because we have to, first and foremost, educate and protect ourselves from things like that. Any suggestions, SIM hacks?
I can speak from personal experience because it's happened to me before.
There you go.
You have to call your mobile provider, and you have to ask them to disable the swapping of the SIM, as well as go in and set your password and make sure it's not your, it's usually a 6-digit code. Make sure it's not your birthday or your sister's birthday or family members or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's happen. File a police report. Make sure that it's on record. and have the authorities basically do what they need to do, let them do their job.
Yeah, and I would say on top of that, use a different device for anything you're doing related to crypto. You know, have another phone that, well, I mean, maybe not anything, but anything major, right? If it's daily small transactions that you just need, or you're sending your own crypto to people, or you're just purchasing small amounts, that's fine. But ultimately, I think you want to have a gap between that. Even your two-factor authentication shouldn't be going to your main phone where you do all the major things. That has your main email accounts, because that's what people are going to go for. They're going to try to get in your phone and get in your email and get in your bank accounts and ultimately your crypto accounts as well. Hopefully that's a little bit harder, but Benjamin or T, any suggestions there?
I guess the you know, general rule of thumb, just split your funds. Don't rely on a single provider or a single solution, especially if you get, you know, if you're a big holder, for example, you might as well want to, you know, one Ledger Nano, for example, one cell phone, which can act as a safe device as well if you don't connect it to the grid. You know, put some in a multi-signature wallet, to basically have a, you know, several solutions as backup plans. I guess that's something that would be wise to do.
Yeah, kind of the same as don't keep all your crypto in one place. You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right?
I mean, that applies to banking as well. You know, all your funds. If you're lucky enough to have more than $100,000, well, the FDIC might not be able to protect them all. So it's
right. And
in Europe, it's good to split them. Same thing goes with crypto.
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn about putting your 24 words into a bank deposit box or something like that, because then you're relying on them, right, to keep it safe. And what if the bank burns down, or what if they decide to lock up everything and take it from you, and they say everything in that box is now mine? You know,
that seems a little bit counterintuitive and like vintage. You know, it's like putting money in your, you know, under your mattress. You know,
right.
We're talking about a digital native, you know, currency. So, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
just, it almost feels like there's nowhere safe enough for the physical copy.
Well, you know, collectively, hopefully collectively, we're getting there. I mean, there's been tremendous progress over the past year, so we'll get there.
And I'm just talking about the backups. I mean, I know that the actual devices are very secure. I'm just talking about the actual backup. As Benjamin said, if your backup's on your phone in a picture, then it's not very safe at all, right? Like somebody can get to it pretty easily from iCloud, from your actual device, in another way through your computer. There's a lot of ways to do it. So I'm going to keep it going here. I guess, let's see, I have a lot of questions written down, but I kind of want to get more feedback from you guys. We don't have any Q&A with the audience, so it's a little harder to do that. So does anybody have something really they're passionate about, they want to talk about here that relates to the topic, or even just the markets in general, because we only have about 5 minutes left.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, no, I mean, anything relevant that you might have wanted to talk about. I'm just giving the opportunity now before we kind of just keep going down the list.
Well,
how about where storage is headed?
That's a good one.
The future of storage. Yeah. What are the advances? Anybody see where that's going?
Self-custody. I think one of the things I see, and I know that people around the table are probably sharing the same view on the future of custody, but I feel that, you know, crypto requires a different paradigm. It's a change of paradigm. You're not storing crypto like you're storing your dollars, right, in your bank account. And I think one of the key one of the key change, and you mentioned it, Benjamin, before, is accountability, responsibility. You know, crypto comes with responsibility, and I feel that self-custody is aligned with this value. And the key thing here is that companies like us shouldn't be. I like the Google motto, which is, you know, Google is not evil, or don't want to be evil. Don't remember exactly.
Don't be evil.
Don't be evil. You know, self-custody is a little bit different in that aspect. We can't be evil. So I think this is a real change of paradigm that, you know, custody and self-custody is going to. And I like this idea of responsibility, and, you know, not putting all your future, when we're talking about BTC, for example, in the hands of a single provider, single exchange that can easily be hacked both internally or externally. So I think this is self-custody, to me, is like the future. And, you know, I mean, just like you have disintermediation everywhere in food circuits, in the food supply chain, or everywhere. I think the future belongs to people actually owning their money, and self-custody is the right
Yeah, it's similar to data in that way, right? The more control and ownership we have over our own data, our own money, our own
sovereignty,
rights, our privacy rights. Yeah, so it's exciting, and that ties into one of the things that we're doing. We just got with Community Electricity, which is my company, we just got a large grant approved with the California Energy Commission, and we are building a new system where it's exactly that. The users have more control over their own energy consumption and distribution, and they actually have a financial upside. Yeah, so it's a similar thing. Energy, data, money, like it's all the same thing. I guess everything is ultimately energy. So I know that we're running out of time. Really quickly, before anyone last talking points, I want to give away one of these. Usually do that physically every year. This is a cold storage wallet, so you can put crypto on it on the back and hand it to somebody. You know, it's as safe as cash in your pocket, I guess, right? Somebody has this, they can pull it open, there's a private key inside. So first person to message me on Twitter gets this, since I can't ask any questions in live format. So at AE Davis on Twitter, message me if you want that and I'll mail it to you. Any closing remarks? We have a couple minutes left here, and then we're gonna wrap and move the train along with LA Blockchain Summit.
I do have a last comment, maybe a remark.
Yes.
We've been talking a lot about devices, and you know, another thought about the future of custody, it's going to be software based. There's no point to hold physical assets, and I think, you know, you need the flexibility, the ability to transact anywhere, anytime from a browser, remotely, you know, in a distributed setup with your teams. And I feel that software solutions are probably the way to go when it comes to custody. At least for smaller amounts, you need this kind of flexibility.
I mean, in my opinion, it's not like black and white. It depends on the amount you wanna secure, and it could be a mix of both. It could be both physical, like you wanna save your life savings into in somewhere safe. Then it's gonna be the hardware wallet. It's something that it's cold. And then you're gonna have also the hot wallet, something that you're gonna use every day. The example that you gave online and through smart contract, for example, are a really good way to go. And I think both could cohabit at the same time, and pretty sure the future will be a mix of both.
All right, great. Looks like we're closing out. We've got about 20 seconds, so I just wanted to give a quick thanks to everybody here. You know, Ledger, Multis, Coinsquad, thank you guys all for showing up and sharing your knowledge with the world. And big thanks to all the sponsors, Casper Labs, all the others, eToro, LA Blockchain Summit, obviously our friends Joseph, Alon, Tim, Adam, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.